We welcome you to Western Athletic Conference basketball here at the Teague Special Events Center. Tonight we got the ACU Wildcats at 2-2 taking on the Schriner Mountaineers at 2-5. We welcome you inside the studio. I'm Connor Mullins alongside Cohen Carpenter. It's a Division III opponent against a Division I opponent. You talk about these impact players. For Schriner, you got Alex De Hoyos. For ACU, you got Damian Daniels, who's coming off a career-high 10 assists against McMurray.
It's really the tale of two assists. Damian Daniels leading ACU right now in steals, and you've got De Hoyos, who's scored 4 times over 20 points this season. They're 2-2 when he does that. They haven't won a game when he hasn't.
Yeah, Daniels for ACU, this senior guard. De Hoyos, this senior guard for the Mountaineers. We throw it out to the Teague Center for the tip. So we see Cameron Steele there for ACU on the tip. And then Camden Ross, the freshman, for the Mountaineers. ACU wins the tip. And that's Reggie Miller, who's going to start it for the Wildcats. So you see Schreiner's starting 5 of Darian Gibson, De Hoyos, Matthias Bloom, Camden Ross, and Jalen Ned. It's a very young team. Only 3 starters is Makai Morris. It's the turnover there. And then for ACU, you got Cameron Steele, Reggie Miller, Makai Morris, Corian Mason, and Arion Simmons.
And obviously one of the big points of this game is, can this Schriner basketball squad, can they outscore this outstanding Wildcat defense?
Yeah, it's an ACU defense that's forced 20 turnovers in each of its matchups so far this season, as the Mountaineers turn the ball over there already. Miller gets it going for the Wildcats. The ACU team coming off a quarantine after 6 of their players were exposed. That's Makai Morris with the shot. Mountaineers get the rebound. Reggie Miller with the effort. It's going to stick with the Mountaineers here early.
Good effort getting to that ball there, and like we're saying, it's going to be a big part on both of these offenses is going to be ball movement. We talked about Damian Daniels before the game, his 10 assists. That should play a big role here tonight.
Coach Tanner mentioned on Saturday that his team was getting turnovers but not scoring off them. And then they have team high 24 assists so far this season, get 32 off of turnovers. Schriner plays tough defense there to force the turnover in transition. No foul there. Mason running it up the court for the Wildcats. Off to Morris. That's a foul and 1 for the Wildcats.
Mountaineers not going to like that call.
That's a tough shot for the Wildcats. You see Brett Tanner there here in his first season for the Wildcats. A long-time assistant for Coach Golding. He was assistant at SFA for a long time. 2-2 so far here at ACU. Got a big win against UTA just a couple weeks ago.
And he's had a few close ones. Obviously, there was that double overtime game against A&M where they lost in dramatic fashion.
As Makai Morris hits the free throw to give AC the early lead.
But one of the big reasons he is the head coach of this squad is he was the defense coordinator last year, and it's showing right now.
He led the Wildcats to the best turnover margin in the country last year. That's a huge block from the Wildcats.
Talk about defense.
It's Corian Mason with the block. It's a big-time play by the senior guard as the Mountaineers try to reset things.
And yet another turnover on Schriner right there as they get called for the travel.
That's Darian Gibson, the junior out of Springwoods High School in Houston. Wildcats forcing turnovers early. 2 already. Almost give away one of their own. Morris looking for Simmons, and he gets it to him.
Schriner defense is doing a real good job of not letting the Wildcats breathe, as there's a 3. Won't go.
Reggie Miller gets a steal despite the miss and lays it in for the Wildcats.
You can definitely see Schriner, the Mountaineers, what they're trying to do coming out in this game is they're not letting ACU get the ball going. There's another turnover there for the Mountaineers. Looking to lead for points.
Cameron Steele with the bucket in transition. I think that 4 turnovers already for the Mountaineers off this tough ACU defense.
And like you said, as we open the game, they haven't allowed less than 20 turnovers this whole season. And there you go.
It's another turnover for the Mountaineers. It's the 3rd turnover by Ross. That's the head coach for Schriner, Marwin El Rakabawi. Had to look at my notes for that last name. 3rd season as head coach for the Mountaineers. It's a young Schriner program, only established in 2017, but it's got a lot of history in their conference. A former assistant for Schriner before getting the head coaching job, and that's Emmanuel Allen for the Wildcats with a tough layup.
Timeout called there as Emmanuel Allen. A great move, 2 guys on him, manages to get the bucket.
So if you're Schriner tonight, I guess, what are you kind of looking for against a Division I opponent in ACU?
And yeah, we've already kind of seen it. They the little bit of that press defense coming out there. Like we mentioned, Damian Daniels had a career high 10 assists. This team is great at moving the ball around. So when you establish that press, you don't give them time to breathe, don't set up open looks. You could start to work something and maybe work in a few fast break points off of a few steals. But obviously with this ACU defense, you're getting bogged down. We saw there earlier that block shot in the corner. He thought he had a wide open shot, but that ACU defense is quick.
It's going to be tough to get any sort of offensive momentum if you're Schriner, who played McMurray in their first game of the season and lost 99-96, and ACU beat the Warhawks on Saturday, 89-54. But it's a Schriner team with nothing to lose here tonight as they get the ball out of the timeout. Looks like there's a foul there.
It's going to be on the Wildcats.
That's Deshaun Jackson, the freshman guard. Mountaineers looking to win this timeout in the corner. No good for the Wildcats, and Jackson gets the rebound. Hands it up to our impact player, Damian Daniels. It's a turnover by Jackson, looking for Allen. That's Bronson Evans with the ball for the Mountaineers. Strong rebound, looking to get it up.
And that's just great effort there by the Wildcats, getting back on defense, preventing the easy fast break points.
That was really strong transition defense as Camden Ross couldn't get that one to go. Still going to be Mountaineers ball. The Hoyos on the check-in. It's Darion Gibson with the ball now, driving up. Can't get it to go, and that's going to be a charge on Gibson. It's going to send it back the Wildcats' way as a 9-0 lead for the Wildcats as we head to break. We're back here in the Teague Special Event Center for the Wildcats as we see a couple former legends for the women's basketball team there, but a 9-0 lead here for the Wildcats early in the first half.
Schreiner's got to get something going on offense here. They've tried a few corner threes, hasn't worked out. The ACU defense has been all over them. Need to move the ball more, open their options, maybe open up the lane and drive down low.
Deshaun Jackson hands it off to Damian Daniels. Daniels getting trapped and pressed hard by the Mountaineers. Mountaineers looking to play tough defense and try to match the intensity of ACU. It's a long ball by Jackson. That's his second turnover of the game.
Wildcats may have thought a Mountaineer touched that. I mean, Daniels definitely wanted that back.
It's De Hoyos runs it up for the Mountaineers. Damian Daniels on defense. That's where his specialty is, at a team-high 57 steals last year. Really strong backcourt presence for ACU. Mateus Bloom with the ball there. Gets it taken away by Deshaun Jackson in transition. And he gets it to go for the Wildcats off his own turnover on the other end.
Sean Jackson just making that one-on-one ball look easy off the fast break.
Jackson was a big-time addition out of Karen Wagner High School in San Antonio. Had several D1 offers. It's going to be going the other way again. Bronson Evans with the shot, but it looked like an off-ball foul.
And preparing this game like much of what we saw last game against McMurray, the Wildcats rotating a lot of bench players, a lot of them got to see the court. Gonna look like it's gonna be about the same kind of game here tonight.
Definitely time for some role players to get some minutes tonight. ACU's made 4 of their last 5. The foul is called on Reggie Miller to take the 2 shots. Excuse me, Mekhi Morris taking the 2 shots.
And there are a few freshmen on this squad that Coach Tanner, I'm sure, is looking to see what talent they can bring to this Wildcat squad.
And that's Alcacer on the foul for the Mountaineers, his first of the game.
Entering the game for the Mountaineers, number 11,
Tim Mena checking in for the Mountaineers. As Morris makes both to extend ACU's lead to 13 here in the first half. ACU playing press defense early. Mountaineers handily get it down the court. Looking to get their first points of the game. Can't get that one. That's going to be ACU ball off the Camden Ross turnover. That's Schreiner's 9th turnover of the game already here in this first half.
And they're really not giving, the Wildcats aren't giving the Mountaineers any room to pass the ball. Obviously, they tried to go down low there. They've tried shots from the corner, and nothing's worked. 0 to 13.
See, keeping their foot on the gas early. Reggie Miller on the ball. Finds Morris, looking for Morris in the corner, but good defense by Camden Ross there to force it out of bounds. Camden Ross, the freshman out of Byron Steele High School. Good ball movement by the Wildcats.
On 3 there by Corian Mason.
It's a good move to get open, just didn't get the shot to fall.
Missed the rim, but not very typical of that Wildcats offense. They do like the 3 ball quite a bit, especially their top scorers.
Corian Mason, 50% from the three-point line so far this season, 6 for 12, 14 points per game. As Dylan Mackey misses the layup there.
Reggie Miller is going to get fouled there. And yeah, this team, one of the things you notice while watching the Wildcats is they shoot a lot of threes, and they may not make them all the time. Damian Daniels, for example, hasn't made a 3 this season. He's 0 for 11, but that doesn't stop him from shooting. They still have the confidence to go deep from the line.
Absolutely. You mentioned Daniels there, and hasn't hit a 3 yet this season. All Southland Conference defense team last year has good ball movement, gets Arion Simmons the bucket. Great pass by Cameron Steele to find the open man. Arion Simmons coming off a 14-point performance against McMurray on Saturday.
And he knows how to work his way around defense. Obviously right there, virtually wide open there in the paint. Easy 2 points.
Really good ball movement from the Wildcats as Tim Mena on the ball.
And he puts in work on defense there as well.
And you mentioned Simmons, just everywhere in the court right now, both ends of the floor. Tim Mana's going to give it to Alcacer. Mana again on the ball, but gets it stripped away by the Wildcats. That's Reggie Miller and Makai Morris on the double team.
Yet another turnover for this Wildcats defense. They haven't let up off the gas yet.
It's a 15-0 run for the Wildcats here so far. Just a little under 7 minutes played in this first half. That's a strong take by Simmons there. Make it 17-0. Another good find by Cameron Steele.
And again, good job by Simmons getting open down low, making that bucket look easy. As the Mountaineers try to respond, have not yet.
Mountaineers just looking for something on offense. This might be it. Tim Mena can't hit that one, the senior guard out of Dallas. Orion Mason on the transition offense. Can't get that one to fall, but it's going to be a foul, and he'll go to the line.
And you love to see that there. That's good teamwork. All his teammates rushing over there to pick him up when he's down. But if you're the Mountaineers and you had that wide open three from the top of the key, you can't miss those, especially against a team like the Wildcats, that NCAA tournament last year, much off the coattails of their defensive performance. So when you get that very rare open look like they just had, you can't afford to miss it, especially when you're down 0-17.
And ACU leads this series 4-0, and the last time these two teams played, it was 93-53 on December 8th in 2018. ACU scored 34 points off their 20 turnovers in that matchup. Schriner team looking to maybe get their first win against the Wildcats. They may be a Division III school, but definitely got something to prove here tonight.
That'd be a headliner for sure.
Brett Tanner is not going to want that for his squad.
Checking in for the Wildcats is number 34, Hewitt Guy, the tallest player on this Wildcat squad. They may be looking at him as a Colton Cole replacement if you remember him from last season.
Colton Cole is certainly a player to remember if you're ACU. So that's Jackson Reed on the ball, passes it out. That one is not going to be good. 19-0 here for the Wildcats and the Teague Special Event Center as we head to break. ACU up 19-0 here in the first half as we see a look inside the ACU campus store. As we go back out to the Teague Special Event Center.
Yeah, and who we were talking about before the break is Hewitt Guy, one of the new additions to this Wildcats roster, standing at 6'11" from Australia. And like we were saying, maybe looking at a Colton Cole replacement in the making.
Yeah, a guy from South Plains College, a former school where Brett Tanner was an assistant in 2004 to 2006.
And look at this Wildcat defense.
Brett Tanner said today in his press conference that he knew that Hewitt was going to be a good player for him if he was played for a coach of the caliber at South Plains College because of the time he spent there.
For sure, and it's great, obviously, to have that chemistry going into a team with the coach.
Logan McLaughlin checks in, and that's the first points of the game for Schriner. Joshua Alcacer gets the first bucket. Freshman guard / forward out of San Antonio. Schriner gets the points out of the timeout. Logan McLaughlin in for the Wildcats. And Stevie Smith as well. We mentioned him earlier, Hewitt. Can't get that one to fall.
Good look, though, and that was a good pass by Simmons. Obviously, he's the tallest guy on the court, kind of hard to miss, but if you can get those shots to land consistently, you're looking at a really great career here.
Schriner looking to continue that momentum they kind of built in that last possession. So Hoyos with the ball. Oh, and that's stolen by Hewitt Guy. Gives it to McLaughlin, back to Guy, can't get it to fall, but Stevie Smith finishes it for the Wildcats. What a wild offensive possession.
And that's what we've seen from the Wildcats this whole game on offense and defense is they're swarming to the ball. You saw it there after Guy, and there's swarming to the ball again. Here's Simmons.
Simmons with the steal, oh, he can't get it to fall. Tries to get his own rebound, but it's going to be Mountaineers' ball. What a play by Simmons.
Here we go back to that steal by Guy again, like we were talking about. He goes up, misses the layup, but Stevie Smith is right there to slam it down.
McLaughlin looking for that alley-oop. Guy not expecting it, but Stevie there to clean it up. A little bit of an ugly offensive possession, but they got it done. Damian Daniels back in. De Hoyos, strong shot there. Good move to get open.
You're going to need more of those moves if you want to get back into this game, especially by De Hoyos, who's their leading scorer.
De Hoyos averaging 16 points per game so far this season. You mentioned it in the opener. Every time he scores 20-plus points, they're winning a game or being competitive in games, 2-2.
Right there, gives up the ball.
Darian Gibson in the corner, getting trapped by Daniels and Allen. And it's going to stick with the Mountaineers. The ACU bench calling for it to go the other way. 21-4 now.
But back to De Hoyos, for sure, if the Mountaineers want to make their way back into this game, De Hoyos is going to have to be a big part of that.
Oh, absolutely, he's their leading scorer, that senior, looking for him to kind of lead this team. It's going to be ACU ball. Another turnover for the Mountaineers. That's 13 so far in this matchup. ACU has 5. Stevie Smith with the ball, looking to pass to Hewitt. Gets it taken away, but gets it back. Back to Daniels. To Allen, who hit a huge shot at A&M to send it to overtime. Despite losing in double overtime, that's another big shot by Allen, make it 24-4.
And again, that's what's so dangerous about this Wildcat team is they can slow it down and pass it on you. Is there almost another steal here? Scuffle for it on the ground.
It's going to be ACU ball. Damian Daniels, the guy we mentioned earlier. Really strong defensive tenacity. Hewitt guy there on the team.
And just great speed and effort there. He had to work the corner, get around his guy to get to the ball, and he still managed to get there, get a hand on it. It's Wildcat ball.
It's a really hustled play by the Wildcats. Wide open, Damian Daniels gets that one to fall, his first 3 of the year. Make it 1 for 12 now on the season for Daniels.
Hopefully for him, that'll break the streak and he starts shooting a little bit better from here on out.
It's a good move by the Mountaineers. Oh, tough foul, tough take by Jalen Ned, the freshman at De La Salle High School in New Orleans.
But back to Daniels, what's great about him is you don't need him to make any threes. He can be 1 for 12 the rest of the season because he's a facilitator in so many other ways, obviously leading the team in steals. We've seen it here in this game. He's got incredible speed, and he's just coaches would call him an effort player.
Absolutely. Daniels, two-dimensional player as a facilitator and a really strong defensive presence. But gets his first 3 of the season, maybe some more to come here tonight.
And doing all that at 5'7" makes it even more impressive.
Absolutely, as Jalen Ned hits the free throws for the Mountaineers. 27-5. Cameron Steele checks back in for the Wildcats. Oh, and another feed to Daniels. Great find by Simmons. Make it 29-5.
Simmons has been on point all game, tossing dimes like that.
Simmons shooting 50% from the field, 2 for 4 so far, and that's a good take by Jalen Ned. Second chance effort, gets it to go. Arion Simmons with the shot, can't get that one to go. Jalen Ned looking for De Hoyos, keeps it alive. Matthias Bloom on the ball. Looking for De Hoyos, and he gets it, and he finishes that one, make it 29-9. Schriner getting some points on the board.
A little bit of a run here, only still down by 20, but hoping to keep this momentum going.
Shriners made 4 of their last 5. It's a good stretch for the Mountaineers. Simmons misses that one, but Steele gets the rebound. Strong bucket there, 29-9 here in the first half. We're back here in the Teague Special Events Center. 31-9 lead for the Wildcats here in this first half as we throw it down to the third member of our crew, Paige Taylor.
Wildcats are coming off of their Southland Conference Championship with the departure of Joe Pleasant and Clay Gaiman and the graduation of Colton Cole. Altogether, they averaged 21 points and 10 rebounds a game. They also played an average of almost 20 minutes every game. ACU is trying to find that again this year on the roster with players like Cameron Steele, Makai Morris, and Arion Simmons. Specifically, Makai Morris, who has been with the Wildcats for 2 years, has stepped into a leading role, averaging 13.8 points and 4 rebounds a game against some of the nation's
so
top
far
competition.
this season.
Guys, back to you.
Back on offense is the Mountaineers here. There's a foul called there.
Offensive foul, Mountaineers, number 22.
The Wildcats play.
32-9 now, Wildcats. Simmons gives it to Steele. Steele gets the bucket. 34-9 here this first half.
There's Simmons with another assist. He's been doing that all game, doing that all season. He's great at finding guys targets down low. And they're going to call a jump ball there. Corian Mason there. Yeah, but Simmons has been great this whole game. Obviously he can shoot it well. He's just, simply put, he's a threat to the other team with the ball in his hands.
Got a really good plus-minus so far in this game, too. 15 so far, off with 4 points. A strong take by Jalen Ned for the Mountaineers. They get a couple free throws out of it.
And if you're the Mountaineers, this is good. You need to focus on getting more fouls out of this ACU defense. They don't usually give up a lot of fouls. Obviously one right there as he makes the first free throw. Corian Mason getting things started for this Wildcat offense.
Ned knocks down the free throws, 3 for 4 from the line so far tonight. Simmons on the shot, and he gets that one to fall. Continues to dominate on the floor tonight.
Simmons loves setting up in the free throw line, loves setting up beyond the key, and he can shoot it, he can pass it. Like we said earlier, he's a threat.
It's another turnover. Oh.
Corian Mason.
Simmons again finds Reggie Miller, who can't get that one to fall, but draws the foul on Jalen Ned. ECU 6 of 8 in their last few field goals. 3 for 3.
Before the break, the Mountaineers were going on a little bit of a run there. They brought it down to a 20-point lead for the Wildcats, but ever since we've come back, Wildcats have extended their lead.
Miller makes that first free throw to extend the lead even further as Faraha Kadode Dew comes into the game. Tobias Cameron checks in as well. It's Reggie Miller from the line.
Makes the second one, goes 2 for 2, and Murray scored 38-11 here with 5:43 left in the half.
David Sanchez in for the Mountaineers. And Dylan Mackey on the ball. It's a really tough defender in Daniels. As Dew forces that one out of bounds. Another newcomer for the Wildcats. Transfer out of New Mexico Military Institute and from Rwanda.
And he's one of those guys that saw the court a little bit against McMurray. He's going to see the court a little bit tonight. It's what Coach Tanner's expecting a lot out of these young guys, these freshman transfers, is there's a foul on the play. But expecting a lot out of these young guys, and that's what, for the Wildcats, is really, these games are good. These McMurray games, Schriner games, and the game coming up. You get these D3 opponents, and you get to put your bench in the game, see what they're made of.
Absolutely, as Dew had 10 on Saturday against McMurray. He led all newcomers in scoring. As Mackey hits the first free throw. This is the second one. ACU gets the rebound. Here with about 5 minutes left in this first half. Corey on Mason on the ball. Looks like maybe a foul on Cameron, or maybe just tripped.
Yeah, nothing called.
Daniels with a good feed to Morris. Morris can't get that one to go, but a long rebound for Mason. Gives it to Daniels. Facilitates, gives it to Cameron, and can't get that one to go. Tobias Cameron, the senior out of Australia and Hillcrest Christian Academy. Jalen Ned on the ball, good move. Can't get that one to fall. Wildcats on the rebound. And that's Kadode do again. Mason looking to draw a foul, can't get that one. Jalen Ned on the rebound, gives it to Mackey. Oh, and it's looked like it was going to be another turnover. It's a blocking foul on Kadode do. Jalen Ned drawing another foul. Shooting his 5th and 6th free throws of the night.
And like you mentioned earlier in the press conference with Coach Tanner, he said that he's loving the defense. Obviously, how can you not love this Wildcat defense? However, they want to make a big improvement on these fast break points. And we've seen it a little bit here tonight, even against Schriner, is the Wildcats will get these steals and they take a little bit of a long time setting. They'll set up on offense, and sometimes they'll have these great one-on-one or one-on-two situations. They just can't. Not a lot of fast break points, obviously. They're doing fairly well for themselves scoreboard-wise. But a lot of that has come from slowing it down and setting up their offense to make it more complete. Obviously, you want to capitalize on almost every single one of those big steals because you're going to have a lot of them with this defense.
Absolutely, as Jalen then misses that free throw. 4 for 6 from the line tonight. A few minutes left in this first half. Oh, a good find by Daniels to give it to Kadode do. With his first points of the night.
And there we go again, slowing it down. Works out for him there, gets it to 40 points.
Set their offense, get your feet set.
Ooh. Fight for the
Scrappy
ball.
play right now between both teams. As Mackey gets that one to fall. 3 points for him tonight. It's going to be a timeout. What do you think Coach El Rocca Bobby is looking for as we go to break? 40-15 here in this first half. 40-15 ACU here in this first half. ACU facing another D3 opponent after missing a week in quarantine, missing a Bahamas trip to the Bahamar Nassau Championship. But a pretty commanding lead here for the Wildcats.
A commanding lead in a game that may not seem that important in the moment. However, we've harped upon this before, but Coach Tanner didn't exercise some of these young guys here. On the court is Deju, who's has, I believe, 5 kills himself so far in this game.
Sean Jackson with a big bucket, 43-15. Schriner takes the ball, looking to score off of that. Big bucket from the Wildcats. Mackey with the ball. Schriner looking to end this first half on a high. Can't get that one to go. That's another turnover for the Mountaineers. Make that 17 turnovers for the Mountaineers and just 5 for the Wildcats. Wildcats certainly winning the turnover margin like they've done all season. There's a big shot there by Jackson, the freshman. He's got a lot expected of him out of this coaching staff. Several Division I offers out of high school. Chooses ACU. Tobias Cameron gives it to Guy. Back out to Jackson. Can't hit that one. That's going to be a foul on ACU. Get back to Schriner.
And like we were saying before, this game may seem for the Wildcats a bit insignificant. You're playing a D3 school. However, for Coach Tanner, we harped on this point before, you get a chance to exercise your young guys here. And we've seen a lot of them get on the floor. Is it almost another steal by the Wildcats there? But you get to see these young guys, what they're made of, what their talents are, and how they can fit into your offense and your defense.
Tim Mina there for the Mountaineers. That's going to be maybe a charge against the Mountaineers. It's a tough call by the refs. Mackey looking for the blocking foul. He's going to get it as he heads to the line. Smith's first foul of the game. Smith, another transfer out of College of Southern Idaho. He's from Seattle.
And there's a good amount of transfers and freshmen on both of these teams. Schriner especially being a fairly young team with a fairly young coach and trying to get their program off the ground a little bit after starting 2-5.
See Coach Tanner there. What do you think he's feeling heading into this locker room here in his second home game as head coach of the Wildcats?
He's got to be feeling good because there's a lot of pieces, obviously, on. This was a foul, I believe, called on the play. But like we were saying, there's a lot of good pieces, a lot of young pieces that he can build on going forward, and hopefully make another deep run to March Madness.
Yeah, it's an ACU team that beat the University of Texas in the first round of the tournament last year. Lost to UCLA in the second round. Looking to try to make it back there. After such a historic season, that's Mackey. Good ball movement from the Mountaineers. Can't get that one to fall. ACU takes it back the other way. That's Tobias Cameron on the slam.
Whew. Clean play, no foul. And there's those fast break points that Coach Tanner was talking about right there, and they get them in dramatic fashion.
Mountaineers trying to draw the charge. Cameron just takes it all the way. Posterized.
Gonna go to the line for a three-point play.
Cameron makes the free throw and one. Swings the momentum a little bit.
Gets the bench energized as well. Crowd into a little bit now. The Mountaineers, they got to try to change that momentum. Last possession, they had a fairly open shot. Wildcats aren't going to make that mistake twice.
Oh, that's another charge. It's the Mountaineers. It's going to be their 18th turnover of the game. It's Deshaun Jackson drawing the charge.
Deshaun Jackson, that's just a great job of selling it right there. He's like making sure, hey, ref, did you catch that? Let me get the foul. Get an easy turnover.
It's a big lead for the Wildcats by 30 just before halftime. Stevie Smith on the ball. McLaughlin looking for a guy in the post. Mountaineers looking the other way, trying to get something in transition, but Deshaun Jackson steals it. Can't lay it in. Neither can Smith, and Mountaineers are going to get it.
And there it is again, back to those fast breaks as Mountaineers get an open look, cannot capitalize. But there's those fast break points that they've got it there, but it was a good defensive play there by the Mountaineers from the behind the back block.
It's good transition defense from the Mountaineers to salvage something. Looking for guys, Cameron. It's gonna be a foul on Alcacer. It's Jackson Reed who missed the three-pointer for the Mountaineers. The freshman guard out of New Braunfels High School. It's gonna be Hewitt Guy at the line. Who's 1 for 2 so far this season, 50% shooter. Makes the first one.
And the Mountaineers have done a fairly good job this game. Obviously, it's 16-47. However, they've done a fairly good job this game with that press defense, keep making sure the Wildcats never have a chance to breathe. And it's really forcing the Wildcats, in order to play their best basketball, to have such a big lead here tonight.
Guy knocks down both here with just 30 seconds before halftime. 2 possessions left. Mountaineers looking to end this half on a high. Maybe get some momentum swinging their way before halftime. Mackey takes it up. Gets that one to fall. Tough shot.
That was a good 2-on-1 move down there in the paint.
Deshaun Jackson's going to finish this one out for the Wildcats. Stevie Smith in the corner. Can't get that one to fall, and that's going to be halftime. 48-18 Wildcats. It's a pretty dominant performance as we see Tobias Cameron there as we head to break. 48-18. 48-18 here at halftime. Wildcats over the Mountaineers. As we welcome you here inside the studio, once again, I'm Connor Mullins alongside Cohen Carpenter. Cohen, just talk about this first half. Mountaineers shooting 6 for 20 from the field. ACU shooting 17 to 32.
Yeah, what we've seen, obviously, there's a lot to talk about in regards to the ACU offense. They have 24 points off of their turnovers, but only 12 of those are fast break points. So they're doing a real good job of slowing their offense down, especially with Isaiah Simmons, passing it around with those assists.
Yeah, you see Cameron Steele there, 7 points off a 3 for 3 shooting. Arion Simmons, 6 points off a 3 for 7 shooting. ACU perfect from the free throw line as well. 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Jalen Ned, the leading scorer for the Mountaineers, getting his points from the free throw line in that first half.
And for the Mountaineers, it's simply, if they want to get back into this game, it's got to be, they've got to pass the ball around, and when they have an open shot, they cannot afford to miss it. We saw that a few times in the first half where they were opening the key. There was a few open threes, but they were taking long twos. They were doing good with that. But if they want to get back in that game, especially, they've got to take those open shots. They got to make those.
Like you mentioned, it's got to be De Hoyos leading the way for the Mountaineers. Only has 4 so far against the Wildcats.
We're taking a look at these highlights here. And again, we talked about this in the first half, but a lot of production from the young guys. We saw a lot of production from the freshmen, from the Wildcats. Coach Tanner's got to be pleased with what his squad's doing tonight.
And we're going to throw it out to the third member of our crew, Paige Taylor, for more on ACU's upcoming schedule.
Thanks, guys. Tonight's game is ACU's second home game of the 2021-2022 season. The start of Coach Tanner's tenure challenged the Wildcats as they started out on the road as underdogs in all 3 games versus Utah, Texas A&M, and UT Arlington. December projects to be much more favorable for the Wildcats as they play 7 home games through December 22nd. Only 2 of them versus teams with winning records from last season. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Paige. Really tough mid-major matchups coming up for the Wildcats, like she just mentioned. Got some big ones at home as well, a long homestand for the Wildcats. Gotta feel good for Coach Tanner as they play Drexel, CSU, Bakersfield, and then another Division III opponent in Howard Payne, and then a really good opponent in Longwood. Just a really good December schedule for the Wildcats. As we're gonna take it to commercial after talking about ACU's drastic December schedule all at home as we head to break in this halftime 48-18 lead for the Wildcats. We get ready for the start of this second half. AC with a 48-18 lead. Looking to hopefully close out Brett Tanner's second home win as head coach of the Wildcats.
Sure, and you're going to have that starting lineup back in the game to start this second half. Get things going here. Steele. Simmons, big body down low, goes back up, gets easy too.
It's a strong rebound by the big fella out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oof.
Another steal for Reggie Miller. De Hoyos gets that one, forces a turnover.
Simmons is right on him. Great example of hustle defense. There's a three. And there is what we were talking about earlier. Schriner making that open look. They're going to need to make a few more of those to get back in this game.
That's Darian Gibson with a three for the Mountaineers. Makai Morris looking for a three of his own. Can't get that one to fall. Matthias Bloom on the rebound. Mountaineers looking to keep their momentum going. Jalen Ned there leading the scorer for the Mountaineers tonight.
Oof.
It's going to be a blocking foul and Corian Mason. Jalen Ned's going to check it in for the Mountaineers. De Hoyos on the ball.
De Hoyos hasn't been the loud presence that many expected. There's another steal by the Wildcats.
Reggie Miller again causing havoc on defense. Finds Simmons. Simmons loses that one. It's going to be Bloom heading down the other way. Finds De Hoyos. De Hoyos with the open look. Can't get that one to fall. Mountaineers keep it alive.
De Hoyos missing everything on that shot, and that just exacerbates the point. He hasn't been quite the presence that anyone thought that he would be in this game. There's the air ball.
As we head to break here early in this second half, 50-21 Wildcats. As we welcome you back to the Teague Special Events Center, 50-21 lead for the Wildcats in their second home game of the season. Mountaineers looking to get something out of that break, continue their momentum here in the second half.
Oof. And this is not De Hoy's night as he airballs that first one. That second one goes off the top of the backboard.
De Hoyos misses another three for the Mountaineers.
And he hasn't been much of an offensive contributor here tonight as Mountaineers ball. Gonna go back to the inbound.
It's gonna be a foul on Corian Mason. His second of the night. Maybe that's the way the Mountaineers can get back into this game, is get some players into foul trouble.
For sure. There's Mason passes Simmons. Steele loses it down low.
Wildcats looking to get some quick offense. Mountaineers having none of it. It's their 10th turnover of the night.
There's a long three. Just short.
Gibson can't get that three to fall after getting one earlier. Wildcats looking to slow things down here on offense. Give it to Steele, and that's going to be a steal by De Hoyos, but Wildcats get it back. That's Makai Morris. It's a really tough defense.
And the Wildcats are smart in slowing it down. Past few possessions have ended in turnovers. They need to buck that trend fast.
That's a smart play by De Hoyos to try to cut off that move by Steele, and it's going to head the other way. Going to be the Mountaineers' 23rd turnover of the night.
Mountaineers 23, but they forced a few turnovers of their own as well.
Both teams have 3 turnovers in the last couple minutes.
And it,
really good defense here in this second half.
the demeanor of the Mountaineers has really changed coming out of the locker room in the second half. They've been obviously back to this man coverage. It's been working so well for me, working even better now. Here's the Wildcats.
That's Tobias Cameron with the pass to Daniels. Can't get that one to fall. Cameron gets the rebound. Gets the bucket. To end the scoring drought for the Wildcats.
He's going to go to the line for a three-point play.
Maybe an and one for The redshirt senior out of Australia.
And Tobias is another one of these effort guys. Is give it all to you on both sides of the court. So he makes the free throw.
It's kind of what he's always been for this ACU squad. Not a big scorer, but does his part on the defensive end, getting rebounds, whatever is needed from him. Gibson there again with the ball on the freshman Jackson. Daniels pokes that one away. It's going to be Mountaineers ball.
Back in this tight man defense is the Wildcats. Mountaineers trying to find a gap in it as there's going to be a foul. Another turnover for the Mountaineers. It's going to be on De Hoyos.
It's the 24th turnover of the night for the Mountaineers.
And continuing that streak for the Wildcats.
Wildcats looking to get some points off turnovers again. Good ball movement atop the key.
They turn it right back over. Not a lot of offensive production for either squad here in this second half.
I feel looking for Coach El Rockabawi. Just looking for something here in the second half to kind of hang your head high. Maybe get back down to Schriner and learn something from this ACU team and bring it to conference play as ACU pokes that one away.
It is a nasty back and forth here with the two defenses exchanging turnovers. Not a lot of points here. So Wildcats get another chance on offense.
Jackson looking to find Kadode do, and he can. It's going to be another turnover. It's been a very strong defensive half for both teams.
And that one there, more of a mistake by Kadode. It just didn't see the ball coming, maybe a bit too fast, flies out of bounds. Giving the Mountaineers another chance. And they capitalize on it.
It's a really good find for the Mountaineers. Camden Ross gets another bucket. Assist by Reichert Bloom. It's going to be a Wildcats bucket and make it 55-23. Tobias Cameron with the buckets as we hit to break here in this second half. We welcome you back inside the Teague Special Event Center. 55-23 lead for the Wildcats here in this second half with about 15 minutes left here. To Jalen Ned, strong take.
And I do not think that call is going to go the Wildcats' way there as Ned went airborne.
So we see a replay here. It's going to be Ned going to the line. It's a personal foul on him. Ned's done a good job of getting to the free throw line tonight. Make it his 9th point, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. He's got 9 of their 26.
And he's really been the player for these Mountaineers to step up in De Hoy's absence.
Kadode do down low. Looking to work around him, get something, and he finds a way but can't get it to fall.
Nice move there, just unfortunate, bounced out.
Mateus Bloom up the court. Sophomore.
Oh, and there's a steal.
Still, that's a steal from Daniels.
And there's the ever elusive fast break point that we were talking about earlier.
Daniels, it's kind of his bread and butter, getting steals and converting off those turnovers. It's going to move by De Hoyos back to Ned. Can't get that one to fall.
Good save there by Dedu. Go back to the play there with Daniels on that steal, just electric coming across the half-court line.
Yeah, really good take by Daniels, our impact player for this game. He's got 7 so far, 3 for 4 shooting. Pretty good for his numbers in 13 minutes. Only an assist, 1 assist and 1 steal.
And here's Miller. Back out to Simmons, up to Dedew, and Dedew's gonna come down for an easy bucket, making it look easy there. Mountaineers back on offense. Here's Reggie Miller at the half-court line. Still with that press. Is Miller scrambling to the corner, up the three, can't get it to land into the arms of Simmons. Here's Miller. Dedew says it's out on the Mountaineers. Ref says otherwise. Excuse me, Guy.
29-26 lead for the Wildcats now. That's Guy's 4th turnover of the night.
Whew, and there's Guy again, almost getting another steal. That was a good move there by the Mountaineers. Almost a 3-on-1 situation, able to come down with 2.
That's Dylan Mackey with the bucket there. Down to Guy again, looks for Simmons. Simmons can't get that one to fall. It's gonna be Mountaineers ball. If you're Coach Tanner right now, I don't know if you're gonna be very happy with what you're seeing from your team.
It's just uncharacteristic all around is really what it is. As there's another corner 3 that is nowhere near close, but it's uncharacteristic. We saw it there with Simmons. His bread and butter is that long two. He banks it off the backboard, and obviously we started the second half. It was turnover after turnover. So for the Wildcats, really, it's just slowing it down. Get back to what you're good at, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of that here.
It's 11-10 so far in the second half after a 48-18 first half lead for the Wildcats. As another turnover is forced by the Mountaineers, kind of matching the intensity the Wildcats are setting on defense. As that's Bronson Evans with the miss. Stevie Smith with the turnover for the Wildcats gets it back here, looking to redeem himself. This is Corion Mason, who escapes some danger, dishes it out to Miller. Miller to Smith. Smith can't get that one to fall. Guy with a strong rebound and gets that one to fall. I think it's 61-28.
And you're just going to get that naturally when you're 6'11", you're the tallest guy on the court. Getting the rebound, obviously, you got to get that point. And that's what's going to make him hopefully a centerpiece here for this Wildcat offense.
This guy goes back to the line, shooting 2 for 2 from the free throw line earlier in this game. 6 points, 2 boards, but 4 turnovers. So he makes the free throw there. And Emmanuel Allen checks back in for the Wildcats.
Mountaineers have really flipped a switch here in the second half. Their defense has kind of come alive. They've forced a few turnovers. A few of them have been Wildcat mistakes, but defense is doing good. Now their offense, they've had a few looks, especially with these corner threes. Haven't capitalized yet, though. Thanks in large part to this Wildcat defense.
A 62-28 lead here in this second half as we head to break. Hard-working ACUTV crew here in the control room. See Emily Schaefer there, Hutton Harris, the director for tonight's matchup. So we throw it back out to the Teague Special Events Center, 62-28 lead for the Wildcats here in this second half. If you're Coach Tanner, what are you telling your team to do out of that timeout?
Just slow it down. You're obviously your defense is doing what your defense usually does, but on offense, there have been a few of these turnovers, and give credit to these Mountaineers. They have played, definitely flipped the switch here in this second half, but you got to slow it down, assess all your options, and then take the easy shots.
Allen can't get that one to go. It's going to be Mountaineers ball again. 14-10 lead for the Wildcats here in this second half. Mountaineers playing with some edge to them.
And you are seeing a lot more in this second half as compared to the first half. The Wildcats are working a lot more in the interior, maybe spread it around on the three-point line a little bit more. Ball goes out of bounds.
Wildcats not letting up on their defensive intensity, though. This ball came right to us there.
Mountaineers back out of bounds again.
It's going to stick with the Mountaineers, looking to continue their momentum, and it's going to be another turnover. Kai Morris to Reggie Miller, who finishes it strong.
Good move there by Reggie Miller. And if you're the Mountaineers, you can't have those mistakes. It's if the turnovers are caused by the defense and they're forcing you into bad situations, that's one thing. But if you're fumbling the ball against this ACU defense, you can't just afford it.
It's going to be another foul on the Wildcats. As we get a replay here, Reggie Miller, strong take to the basket.
That was a good one-on-one shot there. Good look for a guy like Reggie Miller. Makes it look easy.
It's going to be a personal foul on Makai Morris, his second of the game. So it's Bo Cervantes with the ball. Gets it stripped by Morris.
Oh, and great pass.
Miller keeps it alive to McLaughlin in the corner, who gets that one to fall. Defense to offense for the Wildcats, make it 67-28.
And that's the old adage there, is there's a ball batted out of bounds. The old adage that best offense is great defense. Obviously, you see this turnover here by Morris, and look at that pass to Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller sets it up and doesn't disappoint. It's 3 on the board.
McLaughlin sets his feet there and gets a really nice shot to fall. A streaky shooter for the Wildcats. Hasn't played a whole lot this season. A young sophomore out of Carrollton, Texas, at Hebron High School. This guy there can't get that mid-range to fall.
And again, that's what's great about games like this if you're the Wildcats, is you've got guys like McLaughlin who, usually are on the bench and you don't get that many minutes in games, but with these games you can play for, oh, and there's a big block down low. They called.
It was a strong move by Mackey to get open.
Yeah.
But a big-time block by Allen.
He got up to get that one. And, yeah, but back to what we were saying, guys like McLaughlin who, don't get that many minutes, this is what these games are great for, is you can really see what they're made of, offense and defense.
McLaughlin played a lot last year. As that's Cervantes on the shot, can't get that one to fall.
Whew.
A lot of scrappiness right now. Jackson Reed gets that one to fall.
Back on offense, here's the Wildcats.
Daniels, the facilitator, looking to get his offense going. Oh, and it's almost tipped away by the Mountaineers. Kai Morris puts that one up, and he's fouled. How do you feel about those throwback jerseys for ACU?
Yeah, they've got a certain flair to them. Not personally, not my kind of flair, but I see the appeal.
Kai Morris dishes it to Cameron. Cameron gets that one to fall. Man, is he having a night. Make it 10 points for him in 12 minutes.
And the Wildcats on offense are doing a real good job of beating man. They're beating it with speed, they're beating it with efficiency, and they're beating it with good passing. Ooh, and there's
That's a
move.
great move by Bronson Evans, the junior out of Langham Creek High School in Houston.
37-point game here with 8:53 left to play.
Cameron again looking to dish it out to Daniels in the corner. Can't get that one to go. It's going to be a foul. It's going to stay with ACU.
And that's what's great about this ACU team, this Wildcat team, is that some of them, especially Daniels, coming into this game was only 18% from the field, but they never lose confidence and they still shoot their shot. As we see there, McLaughlin, and he can hit it. Good from downtown.
It's a big shot again by McLaughlin. 2 3-pointers in a row for him. As we see our next game on Wednesday, short turnaround for the Wildcats, playing the University of Dallas at 7 p.m. at home again on ESPN+. A Division III opponent again for the Wildcats, and another big play by McLaughlin there.
McLaughlin is putting on a show here. He's got 2 big threes and a nice move to finish down low for an EC2.
8 points in 11 minutes for the sophomore guard.
Mountaineers need to do something to respond here, but can't.
A 74-32 lead off of some big buckets by McLaughlin as we go to break with 7 minutes left here in the second half. It's a 74-32 lead for the Wildcats with 7 minutes left in this second half.
Yeah, and we were talking about it a little bit before the break, but after this, short turnaround for the Wildcats. They're going to University of Dallas. And what's interesting about this season is they kind of ran the gauntlet early on. They played Utah, at Texas A&M, at UTA, and now they've kind of laid back a little bit schedule-wise. They've had McMurray, Schriner, and the University of Dallas. So again, it's a good games. While you most likely know the outcome, it's a good game to see what your personnel can do, and it's a really good view into your team chemistry for Coach Tanner.
Gives you some insight into what your team can bring you. But they got some big mid-major opponents coming to town with Drexel and Incarna Word and CSU Bakersfield, a Drexel team that beat ACU in overtime at Drexel just a couple seasons ago. It's going to be a big month for Coach Tanner before conference play as Arion Simmons can't get that one to fall there. But he gets his own rebound and he puts it back up and scores.
He's just padding his own stats at that point. That's a good move by Arion Simmons. Couldn't finish there initially, but like we said, he's a threat wherever he is on the court.
76-34 now.
Mountaineers, oh, and there's McLaughlin. Found an open man in the paint. He's going to go to the line, shoot 2 free throws, but good effort by McLaughlin to prevent the easy bucket there.
It's Bo Cervantes at the line. As he misses that first one. Schriner just trying to stay in this game with just 7 minutes left to play here in Abilene. As Cervantes makes that second one to make it 76-35.
Here's Daniels, like we said before, the facilitator of this offense. Back to Simmons, down low. He's going to get fouled. It's going to be ACU ball. Daniels with the inbound. 6:58 left to play. Subs come in for the Mountaineers. It's 76-35, Abilene's favor.
ACU just looking to close this one out. Good find by Daniels again. Simmons with the shot.
Simmons, that's just a great way to get an open look in a 2-on-1 situation. Going to the line for a 3-point play.
Number 7. I'll put the Wildcats in the bonus for the remainder of the game. Simmons at the line, shooting and 1.
Can't get that shot to land, but McLaughlin's right there. Simmons.
Simmons again. Oh, what a rebound by Cameron.
And that's what this team's been doing all night. Offense and defense, they scramble to the ball. They've had quite a few offensive rebounds, keeping possessions alive, and there's just great hustle. Whenever there's a ball in play, or whenever it's on the ground, or whenever it's up in the air, a ball to be had, there's usually a Wildcat in the vicinity.
12 points and 5 rebounds for Cameron in 16 minutes. He's also got a plus 16 tonight. Oh, and that's a good bucket from the Mountaineers. Big time 3 by Christian Caldwell, the sophomore guard at Central Catholic High School in San Antonio. Jackson finds Cameron, back to Daniels. It's going to be Jackson shooting another 3, and he can't get that one to fall. Mountaineers trying to continue their momentum, pushing it forward fast. Hoyos on the ball. Finds the wide open man, but it looks like another foul. Looks like it's going to be on ACU. It sends De Hoyos to the line. This is a Schriner team shooting 11 for 16 from the free throw line in each of the games this year. Pretty good free throw shooting team.
They've certainly done a better job in this half of getting to the line.
Hoyos makes that one to make it 80-39.
Just looking forward here for the Wildcats after they go through their bout of D3 opponents. They get back to D1, they go UIW, they go Drexel, and those should be some pretty close games. They go CSU Bakersfield. A little bit of challenge for them as they head into conference going into the season.
Some big games at home, as you've already mentioned. It's going to be Guy there.
Still awaiting the completion of the Coliseum here in Abilene, Moody, as right now the Wildcats are having to make do with an auxiliary court in Teague Center.
As the Mountaineers head to Sam Houston on Thursday for another exhibition matchup, and then Trinity on Saturday. So they got a short week as well. They got ACU today, Concordia on Saturday. They lost that one. Then they go to Sam Houston Thursday, Trinity Saturday, and then Tuesday they got another game with Texas Lutheran. Some really short weeks for both of these teams. Got to find the right match for both schools.
And this is certainly a good test for the Mountaineers just to see where they're at in the season. Let's go against one of the better defenses in NCAA basketball. As you see it right there, another Wildcat steal. Here's Reggie Miller.
It's going to be a turnover for the Wildcats. They're 16th of the game, 31 though for the Mountaineers. So continuing that turnover margin that they've already done so far this year. As we see our ACUTV crew there, our very own Joseph Chapa, looking good out there, working hard tonight for this matchup. Just about 4 minutes left in this matchup.
Oh, and there's a three for the Mountaineers.
Big time three.
And there's one of those, not wide open, but semi-open looks from the wing there, and that's one of the few that they've capitalized on.
That's Gibson with the 3, 2 for 4 from 3 tonight.
Oh, Reggie
Miller with a strong rebound. Looks for McLaughlin. Number 3
Wow.
for him tonight.
He is on
Matching
fire.
the Schriner intensity.
Getting right back there on defense as well. Mountaineers can't respond. How about McLaughlin? Working some magic here tonight.
Well, we saw defense to offense. We just saw offense to defense there by McLaughlin.
There's
Another turnover for the Wildcats and a good, strong take by Gibson. 83-45 as we hit the break with just 3.5 minutes left in this matchup. We welcome you back to the Teague Special Events Center. 83-45 lead for the Wildcats with just 3.5 minutes left in this matchup. We see Gibson here at the line after a strong layup before the break. Gibson misses that free throw. Wildcats rebound. Could be the same score as a couple years ago. We mentioned that during the break, 93-53 in 2019. Could be the similar score. Deshaun Jackson taking it all the way. Stevie Smith was calling for it. Mountaineers recover. Try to capitalize off the offensive mistakes of the Wildcats. Gibson with the find to Mackey. Mackey can't keep a hold of that one. It's going to be heading Wildcats' way. That's Emmanuel Allen, slow to get up there. Had a season-ending injury last year. As you see the brace on his knee there. Just took an awkward fall.
Yeah, maybe his elbow just hit the court there as he was yanking the ball away.
It's the last thing you want to see if you're a Wildcats fan. He's averaging just under 9 points so far this season. 5 for 7 from the three-point line, though. That's Stevie Smith with the shot. Can't get that one to fall.
Wow.
Nice, Cameron with a strong rebound. Finds Smith again. As Smith is fouled and gets to the free throw line. Second chance points for the Wildcats. Really great performance by Cameron today. 5 of 7 shooting, 6 rebounds in just 16 minutes. 12 points. It's a great game for the redshirt senior.
Definitely one of the top performers in this game. Expecting a lot out of him this season. They're going to need a lot out of all these guys if they're willing to make a deep run in the playoffs. One of the other notable players in this game is Arion Simmons. We've mentioned him a couple of times. He's a threat all over the court. Great passing, and with his height, he's a danger down low. He's a big target that he can find easily. It's one of the standout performances of this game. Standout performers this season. Here's Mountaineers.
Mountaineers keep it alive off a scrappy possession. Looking for points, and he gets it. That's Christian Caldwell.
Good shot selection there, a little mid-range floater.
His second bucket of the game. 5 points in 8 minutes for the sophomore guard.
That's a 2-minute warning now. It's 84-47.
Stevie Smith finds Deshaun Jackson, top of the... Dedu can't control that one. It's going to be Mountaineers ball. Leading scorer for the Mountaineers tonight is still Jalen Ned. But right behind him is Gibson with 8 points.
Entering the game for Schriner, number 23, Bradley Russell.
I think if you're coach El Rockabawi for the Mountaineers, you've got to be proud of what your guys put on the court. They played some pretty good defense, especially coming out of the second half. Coming out of Liza, there's another Wildcat steal. That's McLaughlin, and he slams it down. Fast break points there. But back to what we were saying, Mountaineers, they really flipped the switch coming out of the locker room halftime. Defense started to get more turnovers, force more steals. And their offense started to put it together a little bit. They started shooting a little bit more. And this was obviously going to be a challenge for them coming in against Wildcats. So got a lot to look forward to for them the remaining part of their season.
Absolutely. This is a young Schriner program, only established in 2017. And they kept this second half to 11-10 at one point. McLaughlin again, can't get that one to fall. Man, his shot looks good. So that's Cadeau Dedu with points for the Wildcats. 13 for McLaughlin. He's the leading scorer for the Wildcats tonight off of 5 of 6 shooting. Cadeau Dedu with his second bucket of the night.
And he's heating up late, and his role in this game can't be understated because the Wildcats were in a little bit of an offensive slump coming out, thanks in part to the Mountaineer defense, and he hit those 2 threes, and that got him back in shape.
10 seconds left. Was Damian Maldonado there on the turnover. It's a really well-rounded performance from the Wildcats. 88-47. Deshaun Jackson just gonna run this clock out. Head coach Brett Tanner gets his second home victory for the Wildcats to make it 3-2 on the year. Schriner heads to 2-6 on the year. Just a really strong performance for the Wildcats. And we thank you for watching. Once again, Connor Mullins alongside Cohen Carpenter. We thank you to our ACUTV crew tonight for their hard work. 88-47 as Wildcats take this one in Abilene.